What's up? It's your girl Tasia J. I guess I'm gonna just talk about a few things. One, because I be like into like on my downtime, my little hobbies is to like be on the media and just look at like what's going on with certain people. Like for instance, Milagro Grams. I don't know if y'all know her, but she just, I guess, lost and won a court battle. To me, it was I don't know. I mean, you still got to come out of pocket. Nobody wants to do that. However, compared to what was supposed to happen, that was a win. She got out of that. Slap on the wrist. But I agree. I don't feel like she ever should have been sued. I think and then, did y'all hear that? Maybe this is false, but correct me if I'm wrong, but Megan is hiring new lawyers to go back at Milagro. That's crazy to me. Like, just let it go. That woman is so miserable. I feel like she is just so miserable. That's how I feel. I just feel like she reminds me of someone personally that I know. I'm not even gonna lie. She's manipulative. She wants validation through everybody and everything. She want to be seen. Liar. She'll lie. She'll make up a story like that. And it just be so crazy. And then, they'll fool people that don't know them. But the people who know them personally keep looking like... and Megan Thee Stallion is just one of them. She, I wasn't... Listen, let me just keep this real. When the story first came out and it was said that she got shot, I promise you, I was like, now who else shot her? Tory know he shot her. Like, I'm like, her best friend do that. Like, I feel like she would just say if like somebody else had did it. It was only 3 people in a car with her, so 4 altogether, which includes the driver. So if like the driver did it, she'll just say that, or if her best friend did, she'll just say that. So I'm like, okay, so you did that, and I'm like, he did that. But then but I'm not there. I'm not the type to say for sure he did that for sure. I just say how I feel like it because it just be making sense at the moment. But if I wasn't there, I'm not going to say it's a for sure thing because I wasn't there. I'm not a psychic, and I'm just not one of them. I don't like when people do that to me. If you wasn't there to witness what went down, don't tell me what I did and did not do and just be standing on it like you was there to know that for sure. So like to make it factual. So I waited till court. Excuse my hand, my baby drew on my skin with a marker. And I washed my hands and everything. I took a bath and it's still on here. But anyways, so when court came around, they did the trial or whatever. And I'm just watching. And then when it's time to rule, I'm like, okay, this is interesting because to me, if I was a juror, I'm like, I feel like he did it, but what y'all bringing, it doesn't really show that he did it. And so I was watching and confused, like, well, I went in thinking like, yeah, he did it. Then when it ended, I'm like, and they found him guilty. I'm like, but now I'm confused. Who did it? So if I'm sitting here now, like, I don't know who did it, then that means y'all didn't bring enough to the table to prove that he did it. So I'm like, nah, now this seems funny. And then when she was getting caught up in her lies, and now the bullet fragments missing from the hospital, and all types of stuff, the DNA on the gun. I'm just like, this don't prove that he did it. It actually looked like he didn't do it. So I'm like, who did it then? Now I'm thinking, okay, She done already got caught up in some lies. Now this bitch lying. And I'm like, if you lying on this man, on anybody like that, and playing with their livelihood, that is wrong. And I know somebody who would do that. I know somebody who has done that. And just making that person just look bad in life. Forget about what you did, though. You just gonna put a spotlight on that person. I don't like that. So I'm like, yeah. Meg is not to be listened to. She is not to be taken seriously, if you ask me. She just, I feel like she too gullible too. Like, you could just do anything I think she just live for money and fame. She'll sacrifice, she'll do, I think she'll do anything just to be up in there with the money and fame. And that character, soul has to be tainted for you to be somebody like that. So I just feel like you can't listen to nothing. That's why I be teaching my kids, like, don't lie, don't become a liar, because when you lie, it's going to be hard to believe you when you're telling the truth, and then you can't blame nobody but yourself. And I just feel like she's too gullible. Like, just like, for instance, she said Jay-Z won her over with Jordan with their management company because he came in with a platter of hot Cheetos. So you said yes to a deal because of a platter of hot Cheetos. See, that right there, you can't take nobody serious. I just feel like you can't take nobody serious with that. Like, that right there is like, okay, yeah, can't take her serious. So I love the Milagro show, and I'm happy that it didn't turn out the way Megan thought it would. And I'm happy that Milagro is being looked at as media, because that's what she is. And and obviously there was a lesson to be learned here. So I hope that lesson was learned. And I'm happy that Tasha K also had Milagro back. You know, that goes to show you could put y'all differences to the side for something that's bigger. That's what you should do. So that's that. I mean, what do y'all think about that? I mean, to each his own. I ain't on here trying to judge nobody. I'm just saying how I feel. Me, I wouldn't trust nobody like Milagro. Like I said, I know somebody in real life just like her, and I don't trust her. I don't trust her because she's too manipulative. She's a liar. She'll do anything to make you look bad, even though she did something that, caused. And she would just, if she could, she'll take everything from a person just because she's upset or too many people believe in them, and then when I feel like, people like that, they live for the internet or just live for validation. So they always just, it's a lot. I could get deeper, but I don't want to. I will say people just need God. Everybody needs God, but a lot of people try to go to therapy and stuff, and that's cool. I don't knock it. But I have a hard time of who the therapist could be. And I have a hard time with what you bring to the therapist. Like, now I didn't witness, and anybody could be capable of this. You can go to a therapy session and tell them what you want to tell them. Now, I ain't never been to therapy, so I'm not going to sit up here and talk like I just know what happens. So, but this is what I figured in my head. And this is why I'm like, So, I could go to a therapist and tell them I'm struggling in this situation with this person because this person does done X, Y, and Z. So now because of that, I react how I react. I am how I am, blah, blah, blah. But I don't never have to tell them the full scope. I could just tell them what I want them to know. And if I feel like they're going to judge me, I'm going to leave some things out. So now they're helping you cope through half of the story or not the true story at all. So how is that helping somebody? That's how I figure. Like, you could just tell them anything, and then they'll come out and say, yeah, I went to therapy and I feel like I'm doing better. But you probably wasn't even 100% honest. And then how do they determine who could be a therapist? Because I feel like just because you have a degree in it or whatever, or done it so long, how do you know that therapist ain't got something mentally messed up with them, or just like that person they're trying to help out, and they're gonna get them their way of advice, or I guess it's a guideline they should follow regardless, or maybe like I said, I've never been, but I just don't be trusting that. So I talk to God. I talk to that guy, and if I am going to go to a therapist, me, myself, I'm going to make sure I be 100% honest. And for me, I don't feel like I'm ready to go see a therapist because I don't really want to be 100% honest with everything in my life to a stranger right now. So I will wait. But I feel like if you're going to go, be honest. It's some people that won't tell. They'll just tell what makes them look so weak and hurt. And then the therapist is going to be like, oh, okay, well, this is how you should cope with it. But you didn't tell them the monstrous thing that you did, though. You're like, so it's like, how do you trust? That's why you're supposed to trust God all the way, 100%. But I'm just saying. So, yeah. So that's just my thoughts. I'm sorry I got thrown off because it's this car on the side of me, and every time I look, this lady is like looking at me, but she kind of looking at me like, who the fuck did she talk to? But like, common sense, like, you should know I'm probably on a phone. Like, I could be having somebody on speaker. She can't see my phone, so don't look at me like I'm crazy. It's just 2025, you know what I'm saying. I could see if we was in a day where we couldn't have like a speaker on the phone or something like that. But yeah. But anyways, I just got all the way off topic. But anyways, so that's my thoughts on today. I'll give y'all some of Taja J's thoughts later. Bye.